Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, audience discretion is advised.
Cool.
I do like cheer.
Riku is your thief. She steals. Aaron, you bring him in when something has armor. And also he has like armor break, power break, so it like lowers things' powers and makes it to where your things that don't have piercing can beat it.
If you're wondering why this episode has started with a weird discussion of Final Fantasy X, it's because I thought, let's go in media res.
Oh, I didn't even know we started. Oh, shit.
Okay.
Well,
damn.
Hello, everybody.
No, that was very. I want to see one of the few opportunities where Brady was instructing you as opposed to skewering you with terrible.
Well, I'm just like
invective.
Anybody who's played Final Fantasy X, they know these things.
Yeah, no,
and
it's very true.
And he just hasn't played Final Fantasy X, and somehow has never picked up on. It amazes me the how you can like completely be like. I'm not saying this is an insult, but just be like have your blinders on to where like none, like you don't pick up anything.
Yeah,
I was there. I was there when he started playing the game, and okay, spoilers for 20, not 25, but like
it's over 20.
We're approaching 25 years.
It was over 20.
I 10
years if you're playing the HD remaster.
Yeah, but the story hasn't really. They didn't film new scenes. But no, I was there in his first moments of it, and he's like, Oren, this guy looks like a bad guy.
Like, oh yeah, because he's just standing menacingly in front of this huge tidal wave.
He's not standing menacingly. He's standing Oronly.
Yeah.
Auron is literally
Gotcha.
like people always talk about aura farming and shit like that. That motherfucker was doing that shit originally. That's why it's called Auron.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, no, it's reasonable for me to assume like, Aaron, yeah, he's the bad guy of this.
Ethan, what are we?
Oh yeah, we're Travelers on the Omnibus, a field trip through nerd and pop culture.
Mop culture? Was that mop culture?
I heard pop.
I heard mop. I'm losing my mind. I'm the crazy person now.
Who are you, by the way?
I'm James McCarthy.
And I'm Bray Davis, and I guess we're also doing, we're also talking about Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Jody, how about, Jody has been replaced by 2 frogs.
Yes.
Because one frog wasn't enough to replace Jody.
Yeah, you need 2 frogs.
2 whole frogs.
We might be calling him, literally calling him in later to add on to our main topic.
Yes. So back to Final Fantasy X. Yeah, no, it's reasonable for me to assume that Aaron is the bad guy.
That very first shot of him, I can kind of see that where you're like, who the fuck is this?
Less the first shot, more the shot when everybody gets swallowed up by sin, and he's like staring Titus down. It's like, and like, that one I can understand contextually.
But now all that is shifting over to Seymour. Because
Seymour Guado.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like if anyone has the hair for a villain, it is absolutely him.
Yeah, Seymour is creepy.
But yeah.
You'll find out more about Seymour.
Yeah. If he's able to summon anima at no hesitation, no difficulties whatsoever.
Well, I like how he can just bring Dagon from out of nowhere.
I don't know who Dagon is.
Okay, that's a little bit of a joke. You may not have gotten to that part in the story yet, so I'll leave that to you. There's going to be a giant non-sin fish, and I'll just leave it at that.
Is it sin-sized or?
Oh no, sin is like the biggest thing you're gonna have to worry about.
Okay, gotcha. So,
and it might be your dad.
Yeah. That I am aware of. Sin is jacked, but I'm putting like a huge question mark asterisk over it because I'm just seeing where it goes at this point.
That'll make sense later.
Yeah, but yeah,
it is interesting. Like a game that is pretty old.
More so
that you're seeing it with fresh eyes. That is cool.
It's also kind of like for the entire series because besides the little bit I've played of 7 and how far I've gotten in 10, I'm completely oblivious to anything else.
That is interesting.
Completely related.
That is interesting.
Because I just never really grew up with it or anything like that.
That's interesting. Yeah, because you're too young. 10 you're even too like. That's the thing. By the time you were a bit of like age to have actually like gotten it, like you didn't hit like a lot of people. like teenagers when like 7 came out, or they were not super. They were around that age when 7 came out, or 8 came out, or 9, and they had those, so they got to see it like at that time. Yeah, you would have. So they had 12 didn't have like the cultural impact that like 7 and 10 really did. Even though I really do love 12. 13, no.
13 not here, but definitely 13 in Japan.
In Japan, yeah, but like here,
Final Fantasy X originally released 4 months after after I was born.
Yeah, see,
July 19th, 2001.
So yeah, like the kind of like the ones that came later, like, even though like there are a lot of things I like about like say 13, but like it just didn't have like the impact of like, oh my God, this is a big deal. And even with like 15 and then like 11 and 14, those were MMOs. So like that's different. So you kind of missed like
the impact.
10 was really like the big one that was like, oh my God, this is a big, because it was the first one on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
You kind of
first one on PlayStation 2, first one with voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that one.
Yeah, so you kind of missed, and that was really the last one, so you missed out on that. Whereas like again with like 7 and 6 and 9 really, and I would say even 8, but like a lot of people quickly, I don't feel this way, but a lot of people quickly got disappointed with 8. But like when it was coming out, like 8 was a big fucking deal. But yeah, so it kind of makes sense that like Final Fantasy wasn't like your thing. Like you never got into it. It
like,
makes sense.
The only reason why I'm familiar with Kingdom Hearts is because of my older brother, because he liked the whimsical side of Square Enix with Disney characters. Mm-hmm. So that's why I more so grew up with.
Yeah,
as
that
opposed
makes more
to
sense. That makes sense.
Final Fantasy. But
so to you, it was Leon. It wasn't Squall.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm liking it so far. Mm-hmm. I'm liking what I'm playing.
It's a good one. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. It's definitely up there for me.
And assuming I finish it in some reasonable time. I'm gonna go and do 6.
Mm-hmm. 6 is my favorite. 6 is really good. Yeah, 10 you can finish it in a pretty reasonable time if you don't want to do like all of the extra stuff, like getting all the celestial weapons fully powered up. Although like all those mini games, most of them are like really annoying.
I am more so trying to find all of the Albaid
primers. Yeah. There's a couple there.
Somehow I missed the second one, and I'm wondering if it's just lost to the wind for me.
There are a couple that you can't go back to,
because like I have 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Mm-hmm. And it's like I'm missing 2. I don't know what letters stands for B.
Yeah, there's one that you can definitely miss because you just cannot go back to that place. But a lot of them you can go. Most of the stuff that you're doing now you can actually go back to. Yeah. Eventually, maybe not in the very first. I think that there are some parts that you can go back to, but not all of them. But like getting all the celestial weapons powered up, like that's a big thing. If you want to, like, depending on how much you want to do with the monster arena, that's a whole thing.
A monster arena?
Yeah, you get a monster arena and you go around, and then you can go around capturing all the monsters. So you can go back there and just like farm. Like if there's a monster that like has a really good item or something that drops, or you can steal,
just item farm.
Yeah, you can do that.
Jesus.
But also if you get like certain combinations, it creates other monsters that have even better things. Like until because you're playing the HD remake, right?
Yes.
So that there's also Dark Aeons in that one. So past a certain point, if you ever go back to any of the temples, you have to fight dark versions of the Aeons, and they're actually really hard. They're some of the hardest things. And once you beat them, you unlock Penance, which is the hardest boss in the game. But before that, in the original version, once you found all of the creatures, it created Nemesis, which was at that point the hardest thing in the game.
No. The hardest thing in the game is getting Lulu's celestial weapon.
That one's very hard. Dodging 200 lightning bolts is very hard.
I didn't want him to. Don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. You'll find out soon.
You're going to get to a place called the Thunder Plains, and they're going to explain how lightning bolt dodges happen. And if you dodge 200 of them in a row, you can power up Lulu's celestial weapon.
I do like how how her weapons are just little stuffed dolls.
Yeah, you're going to get to a thing where you can race and do things with chocobos.
I did see the chocobos powering the boat.
Yeah,
I do.
Well, there are a couple of places where you can ride them, but you can also, like, there's a chocobo trainer. You can help train chocobos. You do these different races, and the last one is you have to race to one point to another point where you have balloons which lower your time, and you have birds which raise your time, and you have to get to the end with a time of 0 to get Titus's other thing. That's mine. That I gave up. I just didn't have the patience. There are little tricks that you can do with the lightning dodges, but that's the one where I'm like, fuck this. And then I watch somebody who does it like automatically. And I'm like, fuck you. Cause chocobos don't like turn on a dime exactly, but there's a lot of little things, but if you just want to go straight through, and you can just go straight through, you don't really have to do too much grinding there are a couple of like difficult bosses.
Well, when it comes to RPGs, I like the additional things that you don't necessarily have to do, but but doing it helps you in like the main story. Like I enjoy side quests.
I would say, like, because Arns is connected to monster capturing. Getting that one is pretty easy. Getting Lulu's is pretty easy because you just have to get all of the summons. Once you do that, you can unlock hers.
Eunice?
Hers is good. Yeah, Eunice that one's good. Waka, you just have to play a shitload of Blitzball.
Is it just a golden Blitzball?
It's so the card side quest play Blitzball.
Gotcha.
The thing that's on the other side of it, that's his ultimate weapon. That's his celestial weapon, world champion.
What's the side quest? Go fishing.
That's in another one.
Another game. Okay,
I think that's in 14.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Okay.
That was Final Fantasy X corner.
And back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah. So welcome to Travelers on the Omnibus.
Everything we did
the problem is, like, if people like have played Final Fantasy X and they're familiar, all this stuff is like the basest shit that I'm telling everybody. So why the fuck are you even saying?
It's new to me, damn it.
Yeah, it's new to him. So fuck off.
Yeah.
Brady, go ahead and tell us what you've been up to recently.
Not really much. Last weekend, my daughter was actually able to come down, or last week, I got her on Thursday.
We played Daybreak.
Yeah, we played some games over here, and that was fun. Played Daybreak. That was a good one.
The Earth was left a dried out husk.
We lost
very badly. We could not save the planet.
We lost very badly.
I've now played 3, and I watched that one. That game had more trees die than my other 3 games combined.
Yeah, that one's rough. That one's rough. We had actually, because she is on a Star Wars kick, and she, like me, when she gets interested in something, she does not go do half measures. She watched all the original trilogy and then the prequels, and then now she's going through pretty much everything chronologically because you can do that on Disney Plus, and she's at Andor. So we basically, Friday, we basically just watched the entire first season of Andor, and then like the first 2 episodes of the second season. So I'm continuing on watching Andor. It's really, really good. I forgot that 2 of the best speeches in the entire show are in one episode, which is phenomenal because those 2 speeches are great. That is also a prison escape, episode, which is really, really good. But yeah, Andor is still really fucking good. It's really, I do enjoy her finally have deciding to be interested in this, because I have been interested in Star Wars since I was a very little child. we both like. We both think we both have Return of the Jedi as our favorite movie. But she also really likes the prequels, which I was scared of when they were younger. I did not watch the prequels with them because I was scared that they were going to like those better than the original trilogy. But she does like them. She has a giant cardboard cutout of Anakin Skywalker. I don't know. They dressed up to see Revenge of the Sith was back in theaters because it was like a 30-year anniversary.
Yeah.
She like dressed up as a Sith to go watch it. But yeah, talking to her about this stuff, and she really likes Andor, so that's really good. I'm glad that she really enjoys that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that she has gotten into that. I tried to get them into Star Wars when I was younger, when they were younger, and they just kind of was like, "Oh, this is good," and then they were just kind of, "That's it."
Good, but not like life changing.
Yeah, it wasn't. I guess if they would have been a little bit younger, I probably maybe, but I don't know. She was probably still like a good age to have caught that, but I really didn't like push it on them. I just said like, "Hey, we're gonna watch the original trilogy." I hate that she's never like she doesn't know anything about like the original versions of Star Wars because there's some things that they changed in the original trilogy that I like, some things that they that I don't like. Really and truly, like the main thing is at the end of Return of the Jedi when they use Hayden Christensen as the Force Ghost. That really pisses me off. Most of the other things I'm not as pissed off about. Yes, even Han not shooting first, that doesn't piss me off as much as that. But yeah, I haven't really done anything else. I'm continuing to read the horror movie. It's still pretty good. I'm about a third of the way in, a little over a third of the way in. It's very interesting. So far, I'm liking it. And I'm interested. I'm hoping that like the mystery that they're kind of because something happened, and I'm hoping by the end of it, like everything is kind of clear, or at least clear-ish. I'm just hoping the payoff is good. That's the only thing that this one's riding on. But yeah, that's me. That's it. I haven't really done anything.
Jay, over to you.
So I'm playing, as I mentioned last week, I'm going back to finish up Live Alive on the Nintendo Switch. I have done the Distant Future chapter, which is the last of the main the regular chapters that you can choose from before you get into, I won't say a railroad, but definitely a very linear course for the remainder third of the game. I enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favorite chapters from the game. They did a very good job of science fiction horror on a spaceship, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. You play a little robot named Cube, unless you rename him to whatever you want, but his standardized name is Cube, and he's a round robot, so it's kind of funny. It's very nice, and I like that, and I find it very funny and very good. The main enemy in that is, if you know the genre, it's very telegraphed who he is.
Yeah.
The way you fight him at the end is very novel, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, no, I highly recommend that chapter of Live Alive, and getting set for the final chapter, starting with the medieval chapter. The solid game, very solid game. It's probably going to get a very strong recommendation unless something goes tits up in these kind of last two chapters. But yeah, I've been really enjoying Live Alive. If you can pick it up, particularly if it's on a sale, I wouldn't. This is one I wouldn't mind getting digitally, but I didn't already have a hard copy of it. But yeah, incidentally, I found out the Switch copy. If you get the hard Switch copy, Final Fantasy X is on the cart. Final Fantasy X2 is a complete digital download. It's a DLC Jesus digital Christ. Download. So you have Final Fantasy X, but if you had no internet connection, you can't get Final Fantasy X2.
Wow.
With the cart. So, but yeah, it's a code to be able to download the game. So that was kind of interesting to me. I did get Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door for the Switch.
Okay, yeah.
So that's another one that's going to be in the library. That one's down in the chain a little bit. So
yeah,
getting very happy. I'm very happy with where the Switch ended up with RPGs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think it's very solid from like past to present, from just complete redos of to just full on like remakes and remasteries. Dragon Quest 3 Remaster is on my short list. I know it came out. It came out last year. It did come out late, but it's probably on my short list for Game of the Year this year because that's when I really got to tear into it. Same thing. Suikoden's if Suikoden is anything like I remember it from the PlayStation days, I'll be happy to get that geared up on for.
Yeah,
and I think that is pretty much it. We said it jokingly, but Jody's a little bit under the weather again. He might be joining us for the main side, but If I just want to take this time to say, Jody, hope you're getting feeling better, brother.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, any feedback from any loyal listeners?
No feedback from loyal or traitorous listeners, but passengers, thank you for being passengers on the bus this week. If you would like to leave feedback on this or any of our previous episodes, that is travelersontheomnibus at gmail.com. Again, that is travelers, 1L, on the omnibus at gmail.com. Frogs taking the place of Jody. Where else can they get in touch with us? Spotify. Thank you very much, Baron Vladimir Harkroken. And we are available on Spotify through comments section, and also take part in any of our polls of any of our present or past episodes that are still ongoing. Also, again, thank you for being passengers on the bus. If you would like to share this experience with someone that you love or hate or mildly tolerate, we are available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube Music, through our YouTube channel, Travelers on the Omnibus, and iHeartRadio.
Dune gets remade with puppets. Who is the one human?
Kyle MacLachlan.
As Paul?
No, just Kyle MacLachlan. Hello, I'm TV's Kyle MacLachlan. Fallout's Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah.
I really like the notion of Austin Butler as a Feyd-Rautha, and he's fighting with a puppet.
That is a really good one. Austin Butler is Feyd-Rautha, and everyone else is puppets. I think that's the best choice.
I don't know. Timothy Chalamet waking up from a spicy dream with Muppet Chani.
I think Timothy Chalamet's the second. To me, it's Austin Butler is Feyd-Rautha, because then he has to not do. It has to be like some Muppet voice that he has to copy instead of just Stellan Skarsgård's voice.
May they knife, chip, and shatter.
May they knife, chip, and shatter.
You fought well, Atreides.
All right,
let's get to the main topic.
That's it.
Let's get to the main topic. Welcome back to the main topic of tonight's episode. As y'all cannot see, I'm currently standing as I am getting ready to write down everyone's top 5 foods in media that you would absolutely want to dine down on.
Chalkboard, baby.
Chalkboards. Let's go. As per usual, we each are going to submit our top 5s. We are going to have a heated discussion on which 5 amongst all lists should be the contenders for the top 5 ultimate foods in media to want to eat. Who has the bullet to give?
I have the bullet to give. It's going to Brady.
Okay, cool. Brady has a bullet that he can use to eliminate one option that is not a number 1 option, and we will go from there to determine the ultimate list.
I'm calling Jody now.
Yes.
I'm summoning him from his deathbed. You can hear the blah 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 blahs.
These are just the frogs croaking. That's all this is.
That's just blah 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 blahs. Oh my God, we did summon you from your deathbed. Holy shit. All right, so yes, we have called you. Sir, you are up with your top 5 foods from media. Oh God, he's dead.
No.
Okay.
I'm not dead.
Okay, just checking, man. We were scared for you.
I'm gonna be okay.
Okay, thank God.
Recovering. It's just hay fever.
Okay.
This time, the third time, I'm pretty sure it's just hay fever. Before I get into it real quick, how's everybody doing besides me?
Oh, doing pretty good, you know.
Doing well.
Doing all right.
It's doing well across the board over here.
All right, cool deal. So I'd like just like, because on the show, even when we're flying, I'm gonna say what I've been doing in the past 3 hours, and real quick, I've been watching neuro stuff. If you're not, I'll play you. So the guy that runs the channel is a computer programmer, an AI VTuber, and so this Twitch stream of Doug are having a battle on geo maps.
Okay.
And,
GeoGuessr.
The funny thing about GeoGuessr, yeah, that's right.
Okay,
GeoGuessr.
cool.
The funny thing about it is the guy who programmed Neurosama, I'd say it like she's an entity, but like she's a smartass. So it's pretty funny to watch. Can Twitch chat defeat the smartest AI in GeoGuessr? That's the name of the video I'm watching. It's pretty good. Y'all should check it out. All right, let me bring up my notes real quick.
Okay.
And give me a second.
It's okay. We can edit this out as necessary. Take your time.
Pardon me.
That's quite all right. Everyone has gases from time to time.
All right. That's true. I've had a lot. I've been eating a lot. Thankfully. So my number five in food and media is Scooby Snacks.
Scooby Snacks, number 5.
That's number 5.
I like when they made them for real and they were basically just ginger snaps.
Yeah. Apparently that's how Hanna-Barbera always pictured them as being ginger flavored because I guess he was a weird guy. Number 4 is the originally fictional but eventually a thing, Everlasting Gobstopper from Charlie or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
There you go. Very good one. Very good one.
Right. My number 3, and I'm sure I'm not the only one to do this because it's stupid. Ratatouille from Ratatouille.
That's on my short list.
Because it's a mouse. He's short. It's very good.
Yes. Number 2 is Lambus bread from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
It's made with brown sugar.
Nice.
According to J.R.R. Tolkien. So somewhere elves have sugar refining somewhere. Or non-sugar refining.
They're eating cookies. That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for my number 1?
Never. Let's do it.
All right. My number 1 is, damn, that's a tasty burger. A Big Kahuna burger from Pulp Fiction.
That's the Hawaiian burger joint.
That is a tasty burger.
That's a burger for breakfast, the American way. Big Kahuna burger, if it was a real chain, it probably doesn't exist anymore. Or if it exists, it's only because of Quentin Tarantino.
I mean, King Hawaiian bread exists, so they could do it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure if they existed in 1995.
Yeah. That's still, though, that is one of the coldest things I've ever seen in cinema is him drinking that entire soda, staring that dude straight through and out of his soul.
Do you mind if I have some of your beverage to wash down this tasty burger?
Ate most of his burger and then shot everybody in the room. Yes. All right. That's me.
There you go, brother. All right, much appreciated, brother. You may return to the sweet embrace of death until you rise again.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Have a good one, brother. Bye-bye.
That's a solid list.
That is a very solid list.
We like that. We like that.
Okay. Brady, over to you.
Okay. A lot of these are going to be nostalgic picks, of course, but the first one, I went back and forth between a couple of cheese pizzas, and I feel like one of the cheese pizzas is definitely going to be on somebody else's list. But this one always it's a real life movie, so like I always wanted this cheese pizza, even though I think it came from like Domino's or something like that. But it looks so much better than everybody else's. This is the cheese pizza from Home Alone. Most of the food in Home Alone, both Home Alones, look just so good. The mac and cheese, like. You never, like the mac and cheese that anybody makes never looks like the mac and cheese that, at least like if you just get like the Kraft mac and cheese, it never looks like the stuff that what's his name? Kevin Jesus Christ.
Kevin McAllister.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've watched Home Alone. So that's number 5. Number 4. So one of my favorite book series. This is from a book series actually. And I knew something from this had to go in here. I just had to figure it out. And it's been a little while. I had to refresh myself because it's been a little while since I've actually read this. But like one of the things is the descriptions of feasts in this are really vivid. And there are like staples that are in like almost every single one of them. The series I'm talking about is the Redwall series. There's a couple of things I could have chosen. Kind of the go-to one, and this is not what I chose, but kind of the go-to one is it's shrimp and hot root soup. It's like a hot shrimp soup. The Otters made that. Redwall it's a series with anthropomorphic animals in it, and the Otters, this was their specialty. But the thing that I went with is a specialty of the moles actually, and this is pasties. And pasties they're like it's a pastry with like a dark gravy. They often have like onions or some. It's mostly vegetarians what you see in Redwall series, but it's like onions and vegetables and stuff like that. And they're usually like it's a very flaky pastry, but then you bite into it and like the gravy just goes all over the place. So that's my number 4. Number 3. So I also knew something had to be from the bear in this, and there's a lot of things that I could pick. But in the second season, there is an omelet that one of the characters, Sydney, makes for the main character's sister, who they're getting the restaurant ready. They've closed down the beef and they're opening up the Bear, which is like a high class restaurant. And her Carmi's sister, who is pregnant, like she's dealing with a lot of stuff and it's really stressful and everything. And Sydney, the kind of co-head chef, realizes that she hasn't ate anything today. And she's like, "What do you want?" She's like, I want an omelet. Okay, what do you want on it? Just cheese. So she makes her a cheese omelet, and it is like one of the most delectable. She at the very end, she like takes sour cream and onion chips and like crushes them over it. Like it's one of the best things. This is a show that is full of like phenomenal looking food. And the funny thing is in this, like all the hand models are actually the actors. Like they don't use other hand models for these things when they show the close up of like hands making the food. Really, really delectable looking omelet. Probably the best omelet I've ever seen. The second one, I also chose, like Jody, I also chose something from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And this is the opening credits because they just show chocolate being made.
Yes. The opening credits. Write it down, Ethan.
It's because it's just tons and tons of chocolate being made in like a factory. And this is something that like sticks out like all throughout this movie. There are things that you like, the Candyman scene when he's pouring all the candy, he's singing the Candyman and throwing out all this candy to the kids and everything. That's great. But like just all the chocolate in the opening credits is just phenomenal. And it's just like, they're pouring the chocolate over the stuff and like dusting the chocolate onto things. Like it's so delectable. So delectable.
Red Letter Media brought this up when they reviewed it. The director of Willy Wonka, the Chocolate Factory, came from I was about to say infomercials. What the fuck? Documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
And that opening shot is like it would be B-roll in a like a chocolate candy man.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the reasons why to me it's like it's so accurate and so good. Yeah, but I can co-sign on that.
It's great. And the number 1, I knew I limited it to only one Ghibli movie because I knew if I knew
you were going to have at least one Ghibli movie.
Because I knew if I didn't, it was going to be mostly Ghibli movies because the food that is in Ghibli movies is oftentimes very delectable. Even though the movies that we watched for Ghibli July did not end up have that much food in it, like
the stew from Mononoke that he eats, with the not ambassador, but the Billy Bob Thornton's character,
the monk, like that, and even that looked really good, but like nothing compares to some of these other ones. I went with there's a scene in Howl's Moving Castle where the main character she's been turned into an old woman, and she gets to Howl's castle, and she becomes the kind of maid,
the cleaning granny,
and she gets some stuff, and she's about to make I guess it's breakfast. But then Howl comes in and he starts making it, and he makes bacon and eggs, and is like 2 humongous slabs of bacon, and with just like delectable eggs just right in it. It is so good. And when he even so in Howl's Moving Castle, the castle is run by a little fire demon and Calcifer, and so he cooks it over Calcifer. In like a skillet, and he breaks the eggs, and he throws the shells to Calcifer, and he eats them. It's very cute. But those bacon and eggs are just the most scrumptious things. I don't think that you can even get bacon that looks like that ever, but it is so good. Ghibli is the top of if you want phenomenal looking food, they really go all out when they animate that, and to me this is the best one. Yeah, so that is me.
Also a very solid list. Jay, over to you.
All right, so number 5 is lembas bread. So lembas bread is amazing. It is an amazing travel snack. If you're going to be doing a lot of walking, lembas bread is very good. It's described in the books as a kind of it has a brown coating to it with a kind of cream. I used to think of it typically as cornbread. It is not cornbread, however. No, it's just a very sweet bread that you can take on your travels with you. Number 4 is everything Ignis cooks in Final Fantasy 15. Everything. This man can look at centipede legs off of a dead centipede you just killed, and he goes, aha, a new recipe. And then he'll cook braised centipede legs over a duck confit. And it's the most delicious food you've ever seen in your whole fucking life. So everything Ignis does in Final Fantasy 15. Number 3, every pizza the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ever ate. Because they were loaded, they were filthy with cheese. Every time they would pull a fucking piece off, they would have to pull off 8 yards of cheese per piece. Absolutely delicious every time. Number 2, gummy berry juice from the gummy bears. It's the only thing on this thing that gives you magical powers when you take it. It's not meant to be drugs. Sure. But it's kind of implied. That's what 80s Disney had to do in order to get around that. The secrets of gummy berry juice will be left in the forest. My number 1 is confit bialdi, which is the variation of ratatouille that Remy makes in Ratatouille. Yes, my number 1 is the ratatouille from Ratatouille.
Yeah,
that is fucking amazing. It is beautiful and delicious. But
just how that fits with the story is so good. Like I said, that was on my short list. Yeah.
Yes, but yes, the actual name of that variation of it is called confit bialdi, which is more about the artistic setup of how it's put on the plate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my top 5.
Again, very, very solid list.
Real quick, Ignis, my favorite is the Nissen Cup Noodle side quest that Gladiolus comes to you and says, hey, Knock, I got this great idea. You know how delicious Nissen Cup Noodle is? What if we kill one of the famed beasts of Final Fantasy, and then we add that to Nissen Cup Noodle? It would just take it to the next level. And then you go out, you have to fight either a behemoth, a cockatrice, or I forgot what the fish was, but you have to go out and kill them, and then you and then you get XP for that in your Coleman tent. That's the other thing. When they're camping out, it's Coleman branded tents. Oh, man. It's amazing. Anyway, okay, that is my quick aside on my stuff.
So I knew that there was gonna be some overlap with very common things that at least one of us was gonna put down. So Scooby Snacks, the Everlasting Gobstopper, Calcifer's Breakfast, things from the bear. I knew that things like that was gonna be on here some form or fashion. So I tried finding things that a little outside of it.
Okay.
So my number 5 is going to be
the Ratatouille from Ratatouille.
I misspelled it here because I didn't.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't know how to spell it.
You a You butchered that.
I'll be honest.
It's close, but not exact. And then I just put rat movie when you reiterated it.
I wouldn't have got it right either.
My number 5 is going to be the Tokiyaki that from Kill la Kill.
Okay.
There gets to a point in the show where they're setting out to fight all the other schools, and Mako talks about the great deliciousness of Japanese street food, and one of them being Tokiyaki, which is kind of like think of like pancake batter, but a little more runny, and you can fill it with like a octopus, sweet corn, edamame, Bushido flakes, and it's like it's
Bushido.
Bonito.
Okay, yeah,
Bonito flakes.
Bushido is a form of sword art.
Yeah, Bonito flakes.
Or a form of never mind.
But like the way she describes it it makes me want to try it. And I've never tried octopus before, so who knows?
Actually, there was a place in D'Iberville where you could get them. I've had them there. They were fine, but I don't know if they're as good as like getting it from like Japanese street food. Actually,
you try to eat Bushido Tokiyaki and a samurai busts out and starts chopping you to bits with a katana sword. That'd be great.
My number 4 comes from the show Bob's Burgers, and he gives like wacky. I see you laughing.
I'm waiting for the non-burger burger.
Yeah, he gives wacky names to his burger creations, but the one that caught my attention is the baby you can chive my car burger. It is.
Get the bullet ready.
Yeah, again, I had to think a little outside the box.
No, you don't. I didn't.
You don't have to, but I mean, it's.
I matched up perfectly with Jody twice, and I sort of matched up with Brady on pizza.
I appreciate you, trying to get outside the box.
Yeah,
what is this? What is this burger?
It is a burger with topped with sour cream and chives and fried pickles. However, the pickles are skewered with toothpicks and on the sides of the burger to make it look like a car.
Okay.
That you could take the pickles off, place it on the burger.
Get the bullet ready.
It's my number 4. Okay, so it's not like the big one.
Yeah. It's a glancing shot. If it gets shot, it gets shot.
Okay, my number 3 is going to be the double glazed apple fritters from a regular show. So I'm gonna set the scene.
Regular show was very good about food, like in depicting food.
Mordecai and Rigby, they're sent out to go pick up donuts and desserts for a event at the park. They get there, and the desserts that they are sent out to get are all completely sold out. The donut shop has a big old baking pan filled with double glazed apple fritters that they were about to throw away because they were accidentally double glazed. They get them regardless, and the moment that they bite into it, certain side effects happen to where they have the
nausea, diarrhea, heartburn, the whole thing.
They have the magical ability to temporarily increase a person's speed and perception of time.
Jesus.
Making everyone
That's
else
called
appear
drugs.
Making everyone else appear to move in slow motion. Eating multiple fritters can allow a person to travel to an alternate plane of time, as seen when Mordecai, Rigby, and Skips need to rescue Pops.
This is Cartoon Network at its finest. Holy shit!
So just the sheer happiness that this one dessert could bring.
Oh my god, this shit is a spice melange. Fuck. Dune keeps showing up.
My number 2. I'm gonna set the scene, okay?
Okay.
You go out to dinner, you go to a restaurant with your family, but it's a Paul Bunyan styled restaurant, okay? You're out in the wilderness, family vacation in the woods and whatnot. And you look at the menu and you see that there's a special challenge that anyone can participate in. And if you complete the challenge, you and your entire party eats for free. I am, of course, talking about the old 96er from The Great Outdoors, where only one man has completed it, and his name is John Candy. And it is a 96-ounce bone-in ribeye steak that you have to complete within an hour. And by God, does he do it. And it looks magnificent as the lumberjack of a chef brings it out to him on an entire cutting board.
I want to stress that 96 ounces is 6 whole pounds of meat.
Damn.
16 ounces to a pound.
It's like a side of a cow.
Yeah. I went to a casino buffet once. I went to the Carvery, and the lady said, "Ma'am, I would like some of that." And she threw the whole thing on there, and it went over the plate edges. Like, "Ma'am, this is entirely too much." And she goes, "No, you eat it. You eat it now." It's like, "Okay, we'll do it." And
I'll do my best.
And I did. And then about an hour later, I was in the restroom at the casino, and Desperado was playing.
Yeah.
And at some point, I had to have passed out because I then woke up to, "You better let somebody love you before it's too late." And I didn't have to shit anymore. And it was the toilet took care of everything. So basically, Desperado saved me from horrible gut death.
Damn.
There you go.
Damn.
But continue with your delicious food stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Number one is going to be Calcifer's Breakfast.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Howl's Moving Castle is by far my absolute favorite Studio Ghibli movie. And the first one I've ever seen, my favorite to this day. And by God, does that bacon and eggs look fantastic. And so, yeah, it clearly it is the number one answer for me.
I also want to shout out like the food in Spirited Away. That's another like really big one.
Yeah.
You can see why those people turned into pigs.
Yes.
I really wanted to include No Face's Feast.
Yeah, that one too.
But I didn't want to. I didn't want to do too much into the anime.
Yeah,
And specifically to Ghibli.
Ghibli. Yeah.
But yeah, these are our own personal top 5 lists. And as a reminder, Brady has a single bullet to nuke something.
As long as it doesn't appear as a number one on somebody else's list.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and do some easy shit right now. Ratatouille, Calcifer's Breakfast, and Lembas Bread.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of those are safe to get on the list right now.
So
contenders.
So when it comes to the Ratatouille option, Jody has Ratatouille proper.
No. It's the same.
Oh, the same thing.
Like
same
I was
thing.
being because,
same thing.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It's just it's a variant on the classic Ratatouille because Ratatouille is a very good vegetable stew. But the way it's presented at the end and with the flourish and the garnishment that they do on there, that's a specific type of Ratatouille, but it's still Ratatouille.
Now I actually find the proper spelling for it.
While he's doing that, I'm going to just talk about some. I'm surprised that nobody had the pizza from Goofy Movie on there.
I'm not a big fan. I don't hate Goofy Movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't a part of my
It was
childhood,
one.
teenage
It was
years.
one that I liked, but it wasn't like seminal for me. Like, I basically had it on there, and then I took it off for the cheese pizza in Home Alone because that was more of that's.
Well, that's actually a tactile pizza. No, I get that 100%. For me, with my pizza choices, every time
it baffles me that I forgot the TMNT pizza because I watched that show so fucking much.
Yeah. No, and the amount of cheese on those slices was always insane. Always.
Another one for me, honey from Winnie the Pooh. For some reason, that honey always, for some reason, that particular honey, I never thought of tasting like honey. I thought of it tasting like cheese because it looked more like cheese than actual honey. But that was always delectable.
I almost went with tea Earl Grey hot from Star Trek because Picard's always getting his Earl Grey tea. So that was something I was thinking about.
Similarly with the Goofy Movie, not the pizza or anything like that, but the can of cheese that the best friend has.
Yeah.
He is absolutely obsessed with it.
I couldn't think of the name of it, but it's a combo of 2 of Ethan's in a different way. It's from regular show. It's the challenge breakfast for the trucker.
The
hat.
excellent challenge.
Yeah. And
12, a dozen egg omelets, half a cup of chili, half a cup of cheddar cheese, an entire bowl of
somebody
fruit
considered
salad,
this for his short list
and
too.
2 buttermilk biscuits.
Damn.
And a single glass of water.
Yeah.
Completed in under 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was on my short list, but I think we'd be remiss without mentioning the spaghetti from Lady and the Tramp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another big one for me was the Imaginary Feast and Hook.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
There were many regular show options that I
can
were
imagine.
really good.
That's a show that I've never watched, so I didn't. So yeah, that was
going back to Hook. That's one of my favorite like reveals when like you see them eating and they're all eating and he's the only one not enjoying it, and then he jokingly eventually starts getting like into the relationship that they have with all.
Yeah,
and then he like flicks the spoon at them, and that's when he gets hit by the food, and all of a sudden you see everything.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Yeah,
that was absolutely fantastic.
Regular show, they have the ultimatum. It is
that's another one.
It is a burger that is filled with another burger that is placed betwixt two buns that are also hamburgers that has a specialty Himalayan ketchup.
Huh. Okay.
If we're going to stay in Cartoon Network land, bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Yep. Take some bacon and you put it in a pancake.
The Jake sandwich.
Yeah, the Jake sandwich is another one. John DiMaggio really, I feel, doesn't get enough credit because he's typically remembered as Bender. Jake really did a lot to show that he had a range with the characters he did. He also, outside of Mark Hamill, is one of the best voices of the Joker that I've ever dealt with. I know we're talking about food, but I want to be kind of putting that right there. But yeah.
I got one from a Quentin Tarantino movie. The beer from Django Unchained. When they go into the bar and they really show step by step him pouring the beer and everything, and then wiping the head off the top
with a knife. Yeah, it was just amazing.
Man,
that's good. If for me, it's the $5 milkshake. From,
that's another. Yeah, the $5 milkshake, the Big Kahuna burger.
Slims.
The show Food Wars, which I absolutely love. The first
that has food in it.
No, surprisingly.
Okay.
The first thing that the main character makes is a Impossible roast. That tastes exactly like a tender.
Is that the one where people eat and then they orgasm and their clothes fly off?
That's the one.
Okay, yeah.
A pork roast that tastes exactly like pork, but is made out of potato.
Sure.
But that's a show that only I am familiar with. So I didn't really think a whole lot of people would get that. But yeah.
I know a lot of people talk about Delicious in Dungeon, where they go dungeon delving to just get things to cook.
That's one that me and Bianca are actively watching. We're waiting for the second season, but yeah, that has like really good food. It's basically cooking in D&D. That's all it is.
All right. So
we have three contenders. Three of the five.
Yeah, we have Ratatouille, Calcifer's Breakfast, and Lembas.
Let me mark them real fast.
You have to start, and don't forget the Confibialdi, which is yes. And then y'all's number ones. That's good.
Okay. There. Okay, that's it. So far.
Huh. Okay, so what?
We have two pizzas.
Cheese pizza from Home Alone. We have
the TMNT pizzas.
I want to group the pizzas with the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory foods, because those are things specific to, like, it's a specific style of food and a specific like movie. I want to group all those together and get one out of that. Otherwise, I think we just finish out all the five with something from Willy Wonka and then pizza. I am hard wired to love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pizza. That would be my vote. If you need any examples, please reference any episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my stand.
I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't fight too hard, because like for some reason like that one I did not think of it.
Okay, so
you're talking about from the cartoon, right?
Oh yes, 100%, 100%.
Although the pizza in the live action movies also looked really good.
Yeah, that live action movie had me go to Pizza Hut from June when that movie came out to almost December every Friday getting pizza from Pizza Hut. But no, just the inordinate amount of cheese. My God. So
which that was the big thing about the Goofy Movie pizza was that the cheese just like dripped down.
Yeah.
It's
having to pick it up with your other hand.
Yeah.
So with the other side of it, we have the Everlasting Gobstopper and the opening credits. I would vote opening credits because that's real. Like they made Everlasting Gobstoppers, which are basically like multi-flavored jawbreakers, basically. But it wasn't the actual. But that footage in the beginning, and I bring up again the documentary style and how they kind of familiarize themselves with that. That is the realest chocolate.
Yeah, that's the reason why I chose it, because like an Everlasting Gobstopper, that is iconic. That is probably the most iconic thing from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, barring Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka. But like I never could imagine like what that even was like. Even when they're like licking the wallpaper and it tastes like I can't even like imagine like what that is, even though it was things that I knew about except for schnozberries.
Well, can I also say with the Everlasting Gobstopper, that thing looks painful.
Yes.
Like it has like a whole bunch of like sanded off D4s stuck into it. So it's
like,
how can you
it's like different polygons like mounted on a sphere.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the most iconic thing, but it's not necessarily
the most appetizing.
Yeah, like to me, it's not the most appetizing thing.
Fizzy lifting drinks would be fun. You just got to remember to burp.
Yeah.
And not be under a giant industrial fan. Because you can do that.
Yeah.
So the opening credits of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and versus pizza from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Fuck, that's way closer than I thought it would be. Shit. I'm still voting for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pizza, but that's childhood, Jay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like 90% of these.
Yeah,
of like
that's
3/5
fair.
of mine is childhood stuff.
Oh, with me, gummy berry juice and
gummy
Teenage
bears,
Mutant, Ninja Turtle pizza, things like that. Yeah, this definitely when like the whole world is nothing but joy and delicious flavor. Yeah, I can definitely sense that. So, in the final debate for what TMNT pizza or opening credits chocolate from William Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Ethan, you've seen the original, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So at least we have an anchor. So yeah. All right.
And you've watched the original
Yes.
TMNT. Okay. All right. Okay.
Can I hate to interject and I apologize. I just noticed this. Brady had pastries from Redwall and
Pasties.
Is it pasties?
Pasties. Yeah.
See, I think of pasties. I think of things ladies put on their nipples.
There's actually it's
an actual thing. Okay. That is my ignorance there. I apologize. We can get back to the
No, he is referring to the nipple covers.
Nipple coverings.
He is referring to those.
There would be like 6 to 8 of them each one. I'm going to stop this now.
Because it's a real thing. Because it's like a Midwest thing.
Okay. So opening credits versus pizza.
Ethan, where are you leaning on that?
I'm more so leaning pizza.
You're more so leaning pizza. Okay.
More so leaning pizza. I'm more so like I prefer
okay. Yeah.
They're almost like an empanada sort of kind of.
Ah, nice.
Like
Okay.
I'm not wholly on board with sweets, and so like yes, everything in Willy Wonka, opening credits and inside, yes, it all looks appetizing, but I'm going to prefer non-sweets over sweets. So my personal preference would be the pizza.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pizza. Let's get it on the list.
Okay. I think this last one might be a little tough.
Yeah, well, we have a way opener field. So the things we've not considered: Big Kahuna Burger, Scooby Snacks.
Scooby Snacks is a really big one.
Yeah, that's a very prevalent.
That's one when I said I was like that, like it's an iconic thing, but it wasn't like as big for me. So but I was like, somebody's gonna put that.
Yeah,
I thought somebody was gonna put the Goofy Movie pizza, but
Sydney's omelet from the Bear. Pasties from Redwall. We've got gummy berry juice.
Ignis's food.
Ignis's food. The 96er from Great Outdoors. Double glazed apple fritter regular show. Baby, you can
you skip that one.
Baby, you can shine my car. And Tokiyaki from Kill la Kill. Let's do just a real quick one. Pick something off of that board on the count of 3. Say it out loud. Give it when everybody's ready. I have mine.
Okay. Yeah, I got mine.
Everybody ready? Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Double glazed apple fritter.
Ooh, what'd you say?
I said the omelet. Again, I haven't watched regular show, so like I don't.
My thinking here is we've got a lot of animation that is on the board, particularly Scooby Snacks, double glazed apple fritters. I believe Redwall is both animated.
Well, yeah,
and
but I also knew putting that on there. Like I think Jody's the only other person who's really like read that series. But that is like a nostalgic one for me.
He might be kicking himself for not thinking about that.
Possibly,
it's possible. But again, we do have a bunch of cartoon already with Ratatouille and with Calcifer's Breakfast
and TMNT
and the TMNT pizza. But yeah, the apple fritter was the first thing because it's specifically that era of Cartoon Network where they were allowing, I won't say doing everything, but they were allowing them to go in creative directions. That was like, so yeah, because I'm thinking of the bacon pancakes from Adventure Time, just the food itself from Adventure Time. Some of the characters who are actually food.
There is someone named Breakfast Princess.
Yes, just there's a bubblegum princess.
Princess Bubblegum. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. There's a princess made of goddamned fire.
Yeah, Flame Princess.
Yeah.
My thinking is the Ratatouille, the Calcifer's Breakfast, all those are like mouth-watery, savory things that you can enjoy. The Lambus bread, that's Jay, explain Lambus bread because I can't off the top of my head.
I'm sorry, that would caught me. Like you were about to go into a discussion and you realize I have no idea. I like it because it's an appetizer. I like it because it's a dessert. I like it because it's a trail snack. It satisfies a lot of things that you would want to eat food for and just looks and sounds delicious.
The TMNT pizza, mouth-watering.
Just
ooey.
Tons of cheese.
Yeah.
Tons of cheese.
I'm ready for some batshit crazy with the double glazed apple fritters. And it's more so a dessert sort of thing. Kind of in the same area as the Lambus bread.
We don't have a dessert up there.
We don't have a pure dessert up there. Like I said, Lambus can be, but it's not a pure dessert.
Yeah.
Let me at least ask this. Brady, you have a bullet.
Oh, yeah.
You could assassinate the fritters and get Sydney's omelet up there because
you can give Sydney's omelet a
because
free ride.
honestly, because the other thing was we have a whole bunch of cartoon on there.
Yeah.
We don't have real.
Yeah.
And Sydney's omelet is a very real thing.
Yes. Yeah.
My vote is fritters, but if you shoot fritters, I will fall in line and I will do Sydney's omelet.
You are the one with the gun at this point.
I don't know. I don't particularly
think to yourself, what would Jody do?
Well, Jody would kill Legend of Zelda is what he would do.
Yeah, he would just kill. He'd find Legend. He would have put Legend of Zelda on the board just to shoot it.
I'm surprised he didn't put anything from like Breath of the Wild or anything like that on there.
Everything there is nice,
but
like okay, so and that's a good point. Like because cooking and eating is I think more of a thing for Breath of the Wild because you eat it at the time when you eat in Final Fantasy 15. It's usually because you're saving in the wilderness and he's going to cook some food for you. I dare anyone to find. I think maybe Monster Hunter Wilds most recently.
Yeah.
That the food is at the very least that varied and that appetizing to look at. They did a phenomenal job in the art and design of that to make it things that you would find in the real world and eat it. It's actually it helps swallow the hard pill of the fact that they're in Coleman tents because a branding at least makes it more realistic because Coleman tents exist.
Yeah.
This food also exists. So it actually worked out the way, in at least like the back of brain, where in the subconscious, where you're thinking about it, it made it work out there. That's why Ignis's food gets on there and why Breath of the Wild stuff doesn't, because a lot of the times it's like, oh, I'm just going to take 5 mighty bananas and stew them and get mighty banana stew, which will make my attack go up. Ooh.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, like I'm like a fucking behemoth steak with like all the trimmings on it. It's like, holy shit.
Another strong contender was the Brontosaurus ribs from the Flintstones.
Oh,
that's a good one. That's a classic.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that one. Yeah.
That was also.
And I hate that I didn't.
So Brady,
there's good. That's the thing. It's 2 things that have a really good argument. Like the omelet for being, it's a real thing.
Yes.
That is a real show.
It's simple in execution, but just the way
it's a simple thing, and that's the thing that really like drew me to it. Besides, because there's a lot of like really good food in that show, but the fact that this was a just simple thing done phenomenally, like done as perfectly as you possibly can, is like a really cool idea. But then also the idea that having a dessert on there would be something that we should do.
That's very fair.
So it's two arguments for 2 really good things.
Yeah, to me, it's like the perfection of reality versus the outright ridiculousness of a concept.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's also it's 2 opposite ends of a spectrum.
Yeah.
When it comes to that. Fuck, I don't know. I'm gonna shoot the fritters.
Shoot the fritter. Shoot the fritters.
I don't feel good about it, but like,
I vote Sydney's omelet.
I mean, if I have a gun,
the omelet's up.
The omelet's up. Oh my god, that's a bear reference because it's a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I do think,
like all Americans, if I have a gun, what's the point if I don't
shoot it? Yeah, there you go. I will say this. It's good to have something that is 100%. Like Ratatouille is a real thing, but we're presenting it in the form of an animated series. Meanwhile, this is an actual food that was made.
The form that it was presented to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the contenders we have, Confit Bialdi.
Just say Ratatouille.
Just say Ratatouille.
That was literally meant to be a joke.
Calcifer's breakfast, lambus bread, TMNT pizza, and Sydney's omelet.
I'm fine with the omelet being last since it was like kind of strong-armed onto the list.
Okay. I would like it at 4 over lembas bread.
Oh, okay.
Those are the 2 reals, and while I like lembas bread, I like when real world people have made lembas bread, is still comes from fantasy. I like a very good omelet.
It's also funny that, because I didn't think of that one, but that's a really good. But lembas bread is a really good pick. But hearing you describe it the way it's described in the books, because I've only read the first Lord of the Rings. And I don't remember lembas bread in there. It could be just that my eyes glazed over when I was reading.
No. There is something to be said. Those books are very large.
But like the way it was described in that is absolutely, like, it looks very basic in the actual movies. Is so
whenever you excuse me,
don't die.
Whenever you're presenting your list, I could have swore you were going to put Turkish Delights from the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe from the book.
Yeah.
Because reading like how it was described and how delicious it was, as opposed to how Turkish Delight actually is.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's still good, but the way that it was described in the book, like, it was like the gods of the food.
So funny that I've never actually read through the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, it's all right. I wasn't a big fan. I
got the set like very long ago and said I was going to read through it, and I never just got around to it. I've just watched like most versions of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe I've watched. But yeah, that was one that I did think about, but I didn't. But it wasn't like because in most of the cartoons and stuff that I watched, like, I don't even think you barely even see Turkish Delight in it.
May I engage in a almost weirdly like rest stop story? I'm reading, so if you can tell from the last 3 weeks, one of the reasons why I was able to like really get into Dune at a young age is because at St. Martin Library, in the high school library, we had a copy of it. We had a copy of all of the books of the Princes of Amber series. We also had Lord of the Rings, and I was reading Lord of the Rings. and a female classmate of mine, was walking past once, and she looked at it, and she goes, "Satanist," and then walked away. Now, the reason why I say this is because, like, decades later, like, everybody's friends on Facebook now, just the way it is. And her kids are all like dressed up like fucking Gandalf and the fucking hobbits. And I was like, Satanist, really? C.S. Lewis was an atheist. Mm-hmm. His friendship with J.R.R. Tolkien converted him to not just Christianity, but Catholicism.
Yeah.
And so, suck it. That's my answer to that.
Yeah.
Also, hail Satan, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck. So I would put.
Man, if you would have been reading His Dark Material, she would have like stoned you to death.
She would have known what the fuck that was.
Back then, yes, that is true.
Like, I've got the golden compass in my hand. She don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, that is true.
God damn.
That is true.
But
why are you reading a book about directions?
I want to push the real food up the list a little more. So that's why I want kind of Sydney's omelet a little bit higher than 5. Mm-hmm. Lembas bread, I think, ultimately can just be bread, where everything else in this has a little bit more going to it.
That's the one thing that would have, like, if I would have thought about it, I wouldn't have put it on my list, because the only place that I've seen it is the Peter Jackson trilogy, and it looks, the way that it's like wrapped in the leaf is like really cool, but like it itself doesn't look appetizing.
Yeah.
You're like, it really looks like, hardtack or something like that.
That at CoastCon, the seller that does the breads and Henderson's Hearth.
Yeah.
So I've done the Irish bread, and one of the things they say about the Irish bread, like, I've seen pictures of it, they wrap it in like a green like cloth napkin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's exactly where he got the idea to do that, or what it was, or it could be something that was developed from that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know where the actual inspiration was from there, but that green mixed with the look of that bread, I think, is always very appetizing.
So far we have Lambus bread at 5 and Sydney's omelet at 4.
I vote for Ratatouille at 1, just because of not just the fact that it is like it looks so good. It's the fact that the way it fits in with the story is like, that's so cool, the way that like it brings up the idea of like foods are able to like bring you back to a different time and place.
Which strangely is also explored in the menu, which is totally different. Yeah. We didn't have any of the menu foods on here.
Oh,
I thought about those, but they're all.
I considered the only thing I truly considered was the cheeseburger, because for a lot of the same reasons you were talking about.
The cheeseburger is great, but the cheeseburger had onions on. I don't like onions, so I was.
You didn't consider Tyler's plate of shit?
Yeah, but it's also explored in the movie Pig with Nicolas Cage. Like the way it's used, the way that whole thing is done in that one is phenomenal. But it's the only one that like fits in like a story.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not going to disagree with Ratatouille. It's my number one. If that is the case, then I think we can safely do Ratatouille 1, Calcifer's Breakfast 2, and Lembas 3, and TMNT Pizza 3. And just on the sheer fact that Calcifer's Breakfast is the number 1 on 2 list.
Yeah.
And to put it anything less than 2 is insulting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or at the very, maybe hyperbolically, but it starts edging towards that. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Pizza, this list proves there are variants of pizza that other people might consider.
Yeah.
So I think TMNT Pizza 3, Calcifer's Breakfast 2, Ratatouille at 1, and I think we have successfully finished another successful.
I'm okay with it. And that's the thing, like all of these other ones, barring like Sydney's omelet, and even that one, like it could have been something else. But if you take the Ratatouille out of Ratatouille, like there's no, like the movie. The conclusion of the movie doesn't fit.
Yes. 100%.
Whereas like you could take the pizza out of TMNT and you get most of the same stuff.
I think you lose a little bit if you take Calcifer's Breakfast out, but I think a lot of that is not so much about with themes and emotions. It's just kind of a nice characterful moment.
Yeah, it's one of those quiet moments that you get in Ghibli movies that are so good
and make everything real, like a fire elemental demon thing.
Well, and it's also the fact that Howl, who you've built up, to be this like mysterious, weird person. He's just gonna make breakfast. He's just gonna make breakfast, and it's cool. But you could still like take that out and not lose as much as you would lose from Ratatouille. All right,
ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. This is the only list that matters.
It's incontrovertible. You can't argue against it.
yeah.
The ultimate.
Even though we spent 30 minutes doing so.
No. See, we came together, and now the white smoke is coming out of the.
We have finished our
Chalkboard
voting.
Vatican.
And the people are excited.
We killed a seagull like they did.
Yeah.
We gave a seagull cancer like they did when choosing the Pope.
And upon the balcony of St. Peter's, Pope Ratatouille is ready.
The Pope is there, and he's moving. He's under the hat. He's under the hat. But he has a little hat too.
I didn't expect that metaphor to hit like
he
that.
He has a little hat
good.
too.
Yeah,
of course, it's just under the hat.
He has his own little Pope hat.
Yeah.
Yes, Pope Remy the First.
Yeah.
Very good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the top 5 foods from media. Number 5, lambus bread from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Number 4, Sydney's omelet from The Bear. Number 3, TMNT pizza from TMNT. Number 2, Calcifer's breakfast from Howl's Moving Castle. And number 1, Ratatouille from Ratatouille.
There we go.
Yeah.
We've done it.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the only list that matters.
Yeah. Anybody wants to do this, just die.
Yeah.
Just straight up die, man. We don't need you. There you go.
If we do anything similar to this, I will make sure that
If you come up to me and you want to argue this and you start giving ideas, I'm going to do this. Cut your speaking. And then there you go.
Yes.
Done.
He's gonna make weird hand motions towards you.
Mhm.
Yes. And I will go, you are aware of some of the power that I wield.
Yes.
You're
All
gonna
right.
wake up and then you have to you're gonna have to milk a cat to get the antidote.
Yeah. No. I'm going to have to go out in the desert and drink gummy berry juice. It's going to be great.
All right.
The juice is the bears. The bears are the juice.
I'm just saying, Paul could have had a double glazed apple fritter and already had the powers of a.
It's spice.
Yeah.
They're spice glazed apple.
It is almost the same. I wonder if you eat too much of those, you also mutate into a vagina baby.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
I know we mentioned it, but I still to this day reading the book after seeing the movie, the shit that just isn't in there, it just like
I can only imagine like that.
My teenage brain was afire with just so much confusion.
A lot of people are like, oh, if I went back in time, I'd do this or that, or I'd go see this or that. I would go back to the moment where you watched that. We're just like, what the fuck? It's not in there. What?
I want
400 goddamn pages. Like I would have been satisfied with everything in the book, and the last line in the book was, and then the sound guns showed up. It's like they don't even use them. They just like all of a sudden appear out of nowhere. That would have been fine. I'd have been great with that.
I wish I could watch my life as a movie so I could just watch my reaction when Brady said, "Yeah, that's not in the book."
Yeah. No, I think it's just just a little line at the end. Oh, by the way, in case you didn't notice, all the Mentats have really big eyebrows. Like just a little bit. Just a little bit. That would have been fine.
Harkonnens, reverse mohawks.
Yes, reverse mohawks. Everywhere.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. I still love the notion.
Boils on the side of their faces.
Yeah, I still love the notion of a live animal Capri Sun where you just crush it down and then drink it. That dude, Beast Raban was Bluto in the Popeye movie.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I found that out later. Yeah.
Just from cinema failure to cinema failure.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I bet you he wasn't in a third thing after that.
He may have been. We don't know.
I'm not looking it up.
I'm not because I'm trying to wrap this up.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's keep going, Brady.
Yeah, we could keep doing that.
Yeah.
we are finished. The list is done. We are pulling in. We are stopping.
Mhm.
We would like to thank MacNub Gaming for allowing us to use their studio space to record these lovely podcast episodes. If you have any type of RPG needs, card game needs, or general board gaming needs, check them out. Goshen, Mississippi, MacNub Gaming.
Yeah. Wednesday nights are RPG nights. Usually the tables are filled. However, there are openings every now and once and again. and we definitely would like to see people out on Wednesday nights. Thursday nights is Pokemon, but it's also board gaming. Our friends Lance Johnson, fellow traveler Brady Davis, and myself usually bring about 2 to 3 board game selections every week to show off and to play with each other, and very nice. I finally got all of Daybreak in sleeves, so I'm not worried about the cards being destroyed. We played a game last night with John, and his son-in-law is completely just non-communicative, and it's like, okay, man, what do you want to do? And we're sitting there for like 5 minutes. I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, I know what he should do, but what does he want to do?
Did you have to make him get up from the table and then play?
I neither admit nor deny for lack of evidence to form a belief therein, and you are left to your strict proofs.
That's for like 4 people.
Yeah, there you go.
Again, Mechanub Gaming, located in Goshen, Mississippi.
Absolutely.
This has been Travelers on the Omnibus.
This is the last planned episode we have. Not to say we're not going to be here next week. We will be here next week. We just know what the fuck we're doing.
We know what we're doing the week after, right?
We know the week after. The next week, we don't know what we're doing, but the week after that, I think we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think.
All I know is that I'm going to be on the beach.
Oh, yeah, you're going to be in Panama.
Yeah, Ethan.
Yeah. Panama. The first few times he said it, my brain went the country of Panama. And so it's like, I didn't know what the fuck.
So when.
Did you think Ray Charles was singing about the Balkan country, Georgia?
Georgia.
Das Vidania.
Das Vidania, comrade.
So
like an old sweet babushka keeps Georgia on my mind.
Yeah, you know it's the powder keg of Europe.
I didn't think we were gonna get political. What the fuck?
I'm Ethan Skinner.
I'm James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
I had to think about that for a second. Jody Kite is 2 frogs.
Yeah.
One of them's name is the Baron Vladimir Harkroken.
One only tells the truth. One only lies. You have to figure out which one.
Joke's on you. They both lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Oh, man. You won't see us next week.
Yeah, you won't.
Absolutely no.
Yeah. That started out in media res, and I think it's ending in media res. I think.
Don't they all end like that?
Yeah, but yeah, they all end like that. But yeah.
So when Bianca told me like a month ago, saying like, "Hey, we're going to Panama for 4th of July week," I'm like, "The city or the country?" She didn't give me an answer for like a day.
That's fair.
I got very concerned on my traveling capabilities.
You need to get steel cages put around your kidneys.
Nah, Panama is safe.
I had the canal.